In October 2021, the STIHL Timbersports Individual World Championship returned at long last. After a forced break of nearly 2 years, 12 top athletes from Europe, the United States, and Canada come together in Munich to see who is the best of the best. The traditionally strong contenders from New Zealand and Australia are unfortunately unable to participate in this year's international season highlight due to the restrictions that are still in place.
Who's going to win? I think everybody that came to the World Championship is here to win, and that's my plan as well.
But until then, it's a long road up to the podium. In the first round, all athletes compete in 3 disciplines: the underhand chop, the stock saw, and the standing block chop. The times achieved will be converted into points upon completion of each discipline. In round 1, a difference of 1 point applies in each discipline, thus the fastest athlete received 12 points and the slowest only 1 point. Any rule infraction will result in a disqualification and the athlete will receive 0 points for that discipline. At the end of the first round, the athletes with the lowest scores are eliminated. Only 8 athletes make it to the second round. In this second round, the remaining athletes compete in the single buck and the springboard for increased scores. With 2 points difference between placings, the fastest athlete now receives 16 points and the slowest receives 2. The 2 athletes with the lowest total points are eliminated at the end of round 2. Only the top 6 reach the third round. In the third round, anything is still possible in the hot saw, as an increased score interval of 3 points applies in this final round. The fastest athlete can score up to 18 points at the hot saw, the slowest only 3 points. The athlete who manages to achieve the highest total score across all 3 rounds is the new champion. Underhand chop. In the past, the underhand chop technique was used to split logs. Standing on a horizontally anchored block, the athletes cut through a 32-centimeter log. The block has to be worked from both sides. Jumping into our first heat, we have Severin Bühler from Switzerland going up against Elgin Pugh from Great Britain. Elgin has pedigree here. He's been at a few world championships in the past, but Bühler is competing in his first world championship. He beat his mentor Christoph Geisler to be here, and we get going at the underhand chop with both of these guys going hard right off the get-go. You can see Elgin Pugh there with the red sleeves and blue jersey, and he jumps over quickly to the other side on the underhand chop. Severin Bühler about 4 or 5 strokes behind, so the definite advantage goes to Elgin Pugh as he gets through that block fairly quickly and has a time of 22:23 for a personal best. Severin Bühler does it in a time of 32:76. These are unofficial times until our referees say otherwise. There you go. Official times slightly changed, and that's how it goes. You can see there Severin Bühler on those first few hits getting nice and quick into the log, but it was Elgin Pugh who just was a little bit more accurate with his power and takes that heat down. Next up, we see Ferry Swan from Sweden going up against Koen Martens from Belgium. Ferry Swan, as you saw, holds the national record for underhand chop. Koen Martens has been in this position many times before. The question is, will his experience be enough to battle against the youth and vigor of the younger and stronger Ferry Swan? Both of these guys getting in there pretty quick with their axes, but Ferry Swan's rhythm is much faster than Koen Martens. Wow. Koen Martens, however, is onto the other side ahead of Ferry Swan. So he's got a lot of power going into each of those blows that he puts into the log, and he gets through first with a personal best. Great job by Koen Martens. Ferry Swan not that far behind with a 19:55. As always, plenty of respect with these guys as they head off stage, and we take a look back at the start blows here. Look at that. Huge tippy-toe steps in for those first few hits from Ferry Swan. And look how close it was there at the end. 1.5 strokes difference. All right, the guy that we've been wanting to see all day long, coming from the USA, going up against one of the most interesting and fun guys in timber sports, Jason Lentz from the US, up against Martin Komarek from the Czech Republic. That man right there is an absolute monster. He's huge, he's strong, he's got power, he's got precision, he's also got pedigree. He's the son of Mel Lentz, who is a legend in timber sports in the USA, and he is just about a half stroke ahead of Martin Komarek as he moves over to the other side. Gets a little bit of a hook up there, but it is going to be close between these two legends here, and it is Jason Lentz just ahead of Martin Komarek, and a personal best for the big American. What a great job by him, and also by Martin Komarek. It was very, very close between these two. Martin Komarek is always surprising. He's among the older of the athletes out there, but he is so fit and so strong and with so much experience, and that all plays such a key role in how he has been so successful over the years. All right, up next we have Marcel Dupuis from Canada going up against Andrea Rossi from Italy. Andrea Rossi, that man right there, is one of the most fit athletes you will ever see in the sport. An absolute beast. However, Marcel Dupuis is no slouch. He's got power, he's got precision, he's got experience. Both of these guys hammering away on the block. In the underhand chop, it's Dupuis just about a stroke ahead of Rossi as he moves to the other side. Both of these guys giving it their all. Looks like the advantage goes to Dupuis, and he wins it with a personal best time of 16.67, and Andrea Rossi drops it in a 28.5. And adjusted times now, we look at Andrea Rossi with a 20.56. That's what's going to also happen. You'll see official times with a slightly different time there, because they will adjust with their high-speed cameras at the end. So we now move on to one of the guys that's legendary in Germany, Robert Ebner. He's going up against Mika Dubicki, who's been absolutely ridiculous this season. He's been on a tear, winning almost everything that he's put his name under. Ebner has stood on the podium twice now, second in 2010 and third in 2009. Dubicki, as I said, he's had a strong season so far, and both these guys just going at it. The pace that they're hitting that block with the axes is incredible, and Dubicki moves over to the other side ahead of Ebner. A bit of a pause by Ebner, and that will cause problems, as Dubicki is very, very strong with accuracy and power that just seems to increase as he gets farther into the block. It's absolutely incredible. And he does it in 25.21 with Ebner in a 29.82. And there you see again the official times. Slight changes there. Dubicki evens out at 25. So a real good heat for both of these guys, but not the fastest time so far. But man, I tell you, Mika Dubicki, he is unbelievable. Marcel Dupuis takes the lead in the underhand chop. Martins has a minor surprise in store, placing second, with Ferry Swan, the youngest participant, right behind him. Speaking of Swan, a highly motivated Swede and son of an Olympic gold medalist in cross-country skiing. He's coached by his mother, Marie. Swan came out of nowhere to win the Rookie World Championship title in 2017, and at 25, now he has the pro title in his sights.
Det är det största man kan göra inom timbersporten, och få representera sitt land. Och jag är här för att visa vad Sverige går för, helt enkelt. Absolut vill jag vinna. Det är varje mål på varje tävling.
Svan is one of the few athletes to train under absolutely professional conditions. Now, let's check out the stock saw. After the starting shot, the contestants have to cut two wooden discs, so-called cookies, within a 10-centimeter mark. One downward and one upward. The attempt is only valid when both discs have been cut off completely and within the marks. So here we have the stock saw heats. Should be noted that the world record has been broken twice in 2021 and now stands at 8.51 seconds, an ultra-fast time. All right, here we go with the heat between Koen Martens from Belgium and Armin Kugler from Austria. Go! Good start for both of these guys. Got a nice thin cookie there by Armin Kugler by the looks of it. Koen Martens putting a lot of pressure on that blade on the way up, and it's Kugler with the faster upcut. You can see the disappointment by Koen Martens, but it was a very good cut by Armin Kugler. Nowhere near the world record time, but still, he got that one as far as the points are concerned, and moving on to the next round. That's important for him, and you can see here, yeah, that was also a pretty nice thin cookie, but the second cookie was super thin. That is accuracy. All right, Elgin Pugh looking a little bit nervous as he heads into this one against Pierre Puy-Barré. The 6-time French champion came in 10th in the underhand, so he's looking to catch up here. Very, very nice first cookie there by Puy-Barré. He drops it first, and on the way back up, it looks like a distinct and clear advantage for Puy-Barré, and yeah, he drops it in 11:51. Pugh in a 12:36, and there we see adjusted times 11:50 and 12:15. Little bit of a delay getting his hands on the saw by Elgin Pugh, and that first cookie was quite thick actually, and that makes a difference in how much pressure the wood actually applies on the chain as it runs through. Okay, up next, Andrea Rossi going up against Severin Bühler. Bühler was the slowest in the underhand, but now he has a chance to strike back against Andrea Rossi. Oh yeah, quick, Andrea Rossi makes a little mistake on that first cut. That could cause problems. Bühler with a fantastic first cut and barely any swing on the transition, and Bühler's got this one locked down with a personal best 10:71. Andrea Rossi with a 12:62, both times, of course, unofficial. Looking a little bit nervous because of the hack on the top of the cut. His very first cut could have caused him problems, but it looks like everything's going to be okay. And here we see right there, ooh, just a little mistake. That could have been considered a cutout, an incomplete cookie, and the judges gave him the benefit of the doubt, but it was Severin Bühler with a beautiful cut there. Alrighty then, Michał Dubicki from Poland going up against Marcel Dupuis from Canada. Marcel, very adept with the stock saw. There is not many people that are very much better than Marcel when it comes to this particular discipline, but Michał Dubicki has been so solid this season, it's hard to bet against him. Oh, very nice. Oh, a little bit of a mistake there by, I think it was on Dupuis' side, and Dubicki takes advantage with an 11.91. A little bit of a skip on the bottom, and we got a broken cookie. I don't know if that's going to count or not.
Well, it's what happened is this is not a complete disc. So that piece was on the ground when I looked at it, but this piece has broken, same as that. But I couldn't find that little piece, so they're going to go do a video review about it. And then my argument is there's lots of wood there, so I didn't cut to a fine point, and their argument is it's not a full cookie, so they're going to go check it out, see what they're going to do. So,
if it's wrong, because here it's broken out to me. The question is whether it was complete or it's just shattered.
In my opinion, it was not complete.
Okay, go with that.
Okay, unfortunately we have a disqualification for an incomplete disc. However, this cut is good.
A bitter setback for the Canadian and not an easy call to make, but probably the right one. All right, moving on. Martin Komarek from the Czech Republic going up against the USA's Jason Lentz. A lot of pressure on Jason Lentz, making it all the way over here from the United States to try and make his mark on the World Championship title. A good start for both of these guys, and boy, it's neck and neck on the upstroke. It could go either way, but it's Komarek with an 11.41. Jason Lentz with an unofficial 11.58, and after adjustment, Jason Lentz had an 11.48 and Komarek an 11.23. There you see Jason Lentz with a great start. That is a massive fat cookie, though. He doesn't leave himself a lot of room. Martin Komarek, on the other hand, thin to win is the way to go, and that definitely was the advantage for him. Two very nice cookies on the deck. And now we move on to Robert Ebner going up against Ferry Svan. Robert Ebner had a love-hate relationship with the motor saws for quite some time, but has since become quite proficient with the motor saws in hand, so we should see a good time from the German. Nice first cut there by Ebner. Ferry Swan pushing hard to get that back upstroke, but it's Ebner with a 10.64. Ferry Swan 11.81. They'll make adjustments after checking it in Competition Control Center. And it is made official with a 10.50 for Ebner and an 11.56 for Ferry Swan. Ebner will be pleased with that result. Oh yeah, but that's a nice first cookie from Ferry Swan. Ebner's was a little bit thicker, fully concentrated. His second was nice and thin though. And that's a pumped German man. It's extremely tight on the stock saw, and Robert Ebner makes an impressive showing. Marcel Dupuis has been disqualified, which wasn't what he was hoping for. Standing at 1.8 meters tall and weighing in at 110 kilograms, he is an absolute powerhouse. Originally from New Brunswick, this is his second time participating in the individual world championship, and he's hoping to use that to his advantage.
It means a lot because the last time I was here, it was kind of a learning experience, and you think when you're here that you're going to be able to do it every year or stuff like that, but it took 6 years before, since I've made it here, so I'm going to try to take advantage of the situation and put my best foot forward and give it my best shot. Yeah, I think every competitor is here to win, and that's my plan as well.
Standing block chop. At the standing block chop, the felling of a tree with an axe is simulated. A vertically positioned wooden block with a diameter of 30 centimeters has to be cut through both sides. A powerful and precise swing with the axe is the premise of a good result. All right, up next we've got Elgin Pugh going up against Severin Bühler in the standing block chop. After watching Severin struggle through the underhand chop, I'm questioning whether or not he'll be able to handle the experience of Elgin Pugh on standing. Let's see how he does.
3, 2, 1, go!
He'll definitely be motivated after having not so good a underhand chop, but doing well in the stock saw. Both of these guys really getting into it here. Elgin Pugh and Severin Bühler moving over to the other side basically at the same time. This looks like it might be a more evenly matched up heat than I originally thought. It's going to be really close. Whoa, holy smokes, folks. That was super close. Down to just about a half stroke, not even. That was a great heat. Bühler with a 22.72 personal best and Pugh with a 22.47. Great job. All right, all smiles. Michał Dubicki from Poland up against Pierre Puy-Barré from France.
3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, a big stick by Puy-Barré, and Dubicki is into it right away, not having any second thoughts about going at that block with everything he's got. Puy-Barré is a big man as well, got plenty of power. Dubicki about a half a stroke to a stroke ahead as he moves over to the other side, and you can see that thing is wiggling and waggling on top, and Dubicki drops it in 2020 unofficially. Pierre Puy-Barré in 21.29, a good second difference between them. Look at the concentration and the power there by Dubicki, and there are the official times. Puy-Barré a good second behind Dubicki. All right, up next, Koen Martens from Belgium going up against Germany's Robert Ebner. This is one of Ebner's strongest disciplines, and Koen Martin looks a little bit like a deer in the headlights of a car, knowing exactly that detail. But Koen Martin's getting right into it. Ebner onto the other side, about 2-3 strokes ahead of Koen Martin, so a definite advantage for the German. Wow, the power from both of these guys is absolutely intense. Koen Martens getting in there. Oh, almost has got it. He's done it. Koen Martens has managed to do it in 22.85. Ebner just a couple of strokes behind, and Ebner definitely had the advantage, so that deer in the headlight look might have been helping Koen Martens out at the end, and you can see the official times there. Great job by the Belgian. All right, Marcel Dupuis, the Canadian, looking for a little bit of redemption after the DQ in Stocksaw up against Italy's Andrea Rossi. And you can see the power coming from the core of Marcel Dupuis. They're absolutely nailing it. Over to the other side, both of them at the same time. However, Andrea Rossi got a stroke in there just ahead on the second side to Marcel Dupuis. Now it's about power, and Marcel Dupuis does it. He beats Andrea Rossi by quite a bit here, as Andrea Rossi seems to have run into a knot or something on the backside of his block, looks over and goes, almost. So Marcel Dupuis officially 1906, Andrea Rossi officially 25-12. What a difference there. Armin Kugler now going up against Martin Komarek. Martin Komarek, I mean, what can you say about this guy? The smiling Czech Buddha, in a manner of speaking, always happy, always positive. Everybody looks to him for advice. Armin Kugler, so powerful, so accurate, and the Austrian moves over to the other side. The question is, will he have enough to take down Martin Komarek in this heat? Komarek's coming close to it. He drops it unofficially in 18.98. Kugler struggling on those last few hits there as it finally starts to go into 25.97 at his time. He will not be happy with that, as he's definitely chopped better than that in past. What a great hit by Komarek, though. All right, now the big man Jason Lentz up against Ferry Swan. Two completely different human beings as far as stature is concerned. Both of them, however, plenty of power. Now, Jason Lentz often backs up the team competition as the standing block is the last discipline, because he is so good in this one. Ferry Swan, look at this kid go, though, 25 years old, absolutely murdering it, but will he have enough to beat the big man Jason Lentz? No, he baseball bats that block into left field with a 1907 personal best time. Ferry Swan was pretty close at a 29.3, but Jason Lentz with adjusted time is 18.83. That is just insane how that block flew off the top. Komarek still in the lead after the standing block. Lentz just 1 point behind, hot on his heels. Kugler, Rossi, Pugh, and Robert Ebner are out after the first round.